anything that is around when we are 0 to 15 is just normal. Think about TVs, normal. Telephones that you dial, normal. These things are normal. I mean, I say electricity, I know we're in a trouble here in South Africa, but electricity was normal, now become abnormal. Kids today from 0 to 15 are like, they don't know that electricity is around all the time. But, bad joke. But 0 to 15, everything's normal. Everything that is invented between when you are 15 and 35 is new, shiny, and revolutionary. You make a career out of it. And so this is what just happens because that's what we're doing. We're studying, we're into it. Think about SEO specialists, social media managers. These things are all new. They're like new things that happen between 15 and 35. And here's the thing, is that anything that's invented after you're 35 years old is just strange and against the normal order of things. And this is what parents do when their kids want to become influencers. They laugh because it's out of your context of understanding. And our grandparents did this to us. Well, our parents did this to us. Now we're doing it to our kids. Khalil Gibran, the prophet, said something beautiful. He said, God forbid you want your kids to be like you. And God willing, you want to be like your kids. Because your kids know you don't. You are stuck in what used to be important. And what needs to be important is brand new. Nobody really knows. We have to explore and experiment through that process. Technology is making everything free. And you might think that times are tough. There's not that much money around. Things are really stuck. But so much of what we used to pay money for has become absolutely free. Think about that shop you used to go to called Musica. When was the last time you were there? Yeah, it's not there anymore. Now we have Spotify and YouTube Music that gives us so much music that we don't even know who's singing it anymore. There's no new Beyoncé's being born. There's no new stars. In fact, I'll show you later that we don't even need musicians over the next few years. It's an irrelevant skill that's been taken over by AI. So not only do we not have musicians, not only do we not buy music, music is now being thrown at us from every direction for almost nothing. Plus, the next phase will be personalized music. Depending on what mood you are, it will be made specifically to try and uplift you and keep you in good spirits. And that's the next phase that we're moving into. Then also remember that you used to go and print 24 photos. You could only use 3 of them because you were fat and had red eyes, and the other 21. Today, you have so many photos. Every photo, any photo you see on Instagram has been taken 18 different times with 15 different filters and then is put up for free and being distributed for free. Also, remember when you used to go to DVD shops and you used to watch SABC 1, 2, and 3 and E! News, which is what my life was, and Mnet Open Time because I was poor, I couldn't afford it. Entertainment today, so much entertainment, we don't even know what to watch. There's so much going on. We click through everything, we switch it off because there's just far too much of a barrage of different types of entertainment coming at us. And then obviously communication is a big one. I'm speaking for Etisalat on Thursday morning, and they did what every other telco business in the world did, changed business models. Why? Because you can't sell airtime anymore. It's not a business model that's viable because communication became disrupted. Now, the next 4 are what we need to start to think about because the next one is transportation. We'll start moving to free. And you might think this is a bit weird, but I'll give you an example. A friend of mine, Salim Ishmael, drove his Tesla from Miami to Toronto 2 years ago. And 17% of the drive was autonomous. And all the charging stations were free because he did it with a Tesla. So he got to Toronto over a few days, and 17% of the drive was autonomous. On the way down, just 2 weeks ago, 80% of his drive was autonomous because all the systems have improved, and the ride was free. So he went from Toronto to Miami with 80% autonomous vehicles for free. Didn't cost him anything. So we understand this is where we're moving to, and obviously we're a little bit delayed here. In fact, I was hired by Audi recently to try and get the South African population to start buying electric cars. Nobody in South Africa is buying electric cars. Wonder why. So, but this is going to change, obviously. I think it's been an excellent thing for us. We've all gone off-grid. We've created new technologies. We're moving in the right direction because of this disaster. We've done well as South Africans. Also generating power, which is quite well segue into it, is going to become free. We have hydrogen power. We have nuclear power. We have so many different variations of this technology that's starting to come out. And then what we have is computing power is going to free. It's almost like that already. I mean, what you have in your cell phone and where it's going and what's going to happen and how many transistors you can put on a microchip it's actually mind-boggling. But here's the one that we need to think about. And this is the one that is new, is services are going to free. And this is all services, including me. I have shared a stage with an AI-created human that was MC for the event. Not real. Given what it needed to say, it spoke it, took away the job of the MC of the event. And then obviously we know Sophia the robot that arrived the other day. I was in an event, or Sophia arrived, did a talk, It's just a matter of time for Sophia to become much, 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 much better. And having access to real-time data on a continuous basis in front of you in a humanoid robot body talking. I mean, why wouldn't it be? So we are seeing all services, from law to accounting, to all start to have a massive wave of disruption. At what point or when or how, we don't know, but all services are going to start moving towards free. And I'm going to show you why this process is. Now, also let's remember why we get caught up as human beings, because we get stuck in not seeing or not preparing correctly. And the reason is, and this is from Peter Diamandis from Singularity, is it's called the 6 Ds. This is how technology arrives into every sector. And the 6 Ds starts off with digitize, obviously, because the sector becomes digitized. The minute it becomes digitized, it becomes dematerialized, goes into thin air. And then it moves into the most important one that all of us get caught up with, is the deceptive phase. And the deceptive phase is the thing that where technology is bubbling under, it's getting cheaper and smaller and more accessible. And we don't know this because it's kind of done in labs and it's done in different sort of areas. And then all of a sudden it pops up and it totally democratizes, demonetizes, and disrupts that whole industry. And we've seen this over and over and over, but then when it comes to our own industry, we think, not coming. And the reason is because it's the deceptive phase. And so the most example that everybody knows, 1976, a camera was shown to the Kodak board. It weighed 8 kilos and took 22 seconds to take a photo. It's called the digital camera. The board told them to get that rubbish out of the boardroom. 20 years, it went into the deceptive phase. It popped up in 1999. It democratized, demonetized, and disrupted the whole photo industry. And so this is happening to every single industry, like I've just explained, including all our own industries. And so let's get to AI and understand how this is impacting all of us as well. If you're not a very smart person, science calls you a moron. It's not the word I use, but science calls you a moron. A moron has 70 IQ points. Einstein has 160 IQ points, and the smartest person ever recorded was 210 IQ points. Einstein, with his 160 IQ points, came up with the theories behind laser lights, GPS, and the nuclear bomb. Life-changing, quite literally reality-changing ideas from 160 IQ points. In a recent interview, Sam Altman and Eric Schmidt were speaking about the fact that over the next few years, our AI will move to a place with an IQ 1,000 times smarter than Einstein. Now, the mind boggles to try and think what somebody 1,000 times smarter than Einstein will come up with. He was like our genius, that we're still following a lot of his principles that he spoke about. And this is going to be 1,000 times smarter over the next few years, which is just to understand that if we are going to be competing with AI, logic to logic, IQ to IQ, we're an ant, and AI is Einstein. We can't compete because we don't compete against tractors. We don't compete against cars. We don't compete against factories. Soon we can't compete against IQ. This is the next thing that's been taken away. And thank God, because who here still wants to be a farmer? Maybe some of you want to get out of Joburg, but maybe you do. But the truth is you don't want to be a farmer. Like, you want to do things that grow you and evolve you and move you. You can go farm on the weekends maybe, but we didn't want to stay there. And also we don't want to stay here because the potential is really amazing, but it's because it's familiar and we're addicted to certainty. We don't want to let go of it. Dr. Joe Dispenza has a great line. It really affects me every time he says it. He says, people become addicted to lives they don't even like because of that routine way of thinking. And so we're stuck to familiar things we don't actually like, but we don't want to change because our brain says, no, let's just stay familiar. So this is bringing in a workforce, scaling our human intelligence at a scale that none of us have ever expected at almost zero cost. So I can imagine that all of us here started writing better emails from December onwards when ChatGPT arrived, right? All of our social media posts, I can actually spot them now because they use the same words. So I never used to use the word thrilled in my emails, but all of a sudden I did. We're thrilled for your inquiry. So all of us have become better, and I made a video that said I'm not writing another book because I don't think books and words are things that are going to be prized in the future because it's commoditized. Everybody now is an author. We can all write 15 books in 1 week. It's not even a thing anymore. So it's not really something that we can look up to as a skill.